The editing aspect of the Vision Pro is like the most enticing part to me. Coffee making app. So while you're making your coffee, you can have a timer. The Vision Pro is coming out next week, and a lot of developers have already started pushing apps to the Vision Pro App Store. So me and my friend Prince are going to be checking out some of the apps to see whether the Vision Pro is truly the device that's going to be saving the future of virtual reality. The conversation was really insightful because Prince has had some experience in building in VR in the past, so his intuitions around the topic were very insightful, but it was also a very fun conversation. So let's just jump into it and I'll see you at the second half of the video. Okay, so at some point you believed VR to be the future. Do you still believe that VR is the future?
Like if you asked me last year, VR is the future, I would have said yeah in the next like 2 years. Now I don't think it's not in the next 2 years anymore. Maybe I think at least like 5, 10 years probably.
What's your take on the new Vision Pro headset then?
First of all, I'm not gonna buy it. I just think it's ridiculous to price a headset for almost 4 grand. They obviously made this as a high-end device for people with money, right? It's not for the commoners. It's not for the society. It's for people who are super Apple fanboys and they have money. So like Twitter influencers, Twitter tech influencers, basically.
So it seems that like Apple is kind of relying on developers to bring experiences beyond what they've built. Like the demo shows people looking at images, watching Disney Plus, and maybe connecting their headset to their MacBook Pro and expanding their workspace. But beyond that, the experience that like the Meta Quest brought with like Horizon, for example, they didn't really build anything like that. They didn't really care about all these things. So
I have to give it to Apple. Like they're more strategic, right? Meta has a great device, but horrible content. Developing for Quest is so hard. Like, how can you get content if the barrier to creating content is so high? You can't get content. If you want to develop for Quest, you basically need to learn Unity
yeah.
and Unity on Unreal Engine. And learning either of those is already a high barrier to entry. Like, I keep buying these Quests, think I'm going to use it, and then I still barely use it. Right, because the content is not good. It's really bad content.
There are some Quest developers that have made millions of dollars. Like they make games and they make millions of dollars because they're like the highest rated game on the Quest store.
Right.
Right now, before checking the apps, even, do you think that on the Vision Pro there's the same opportunity for developers to make like money on the Vision Pro?
Yeah, definitely. The developers on Quest that made a lot of money were obviously game developers that already knew how to make games. But it's very different for Apple. Apple's going to get a lot of apps and content because they've structured the development experience in such a way that if you know how to make iOS app, you know how to make Vision Pro apps. Essentially, it's the same language, the same programming paradigm, kits that you will use on iOS that you will use on the Vision Pro. Like it's just very streamlined. It'd be much easier to develop for Vision Pro than to develop for Quest, and that might actually be a big advantage for Apple because then there's going to be a lot of content on Apple.
Even like before we start jumping into like exploring the app, I have to tell you like some of the apps are literal like iOS and iPad apps that just got ported for the Vision Pro. It's just like porting it directly. So
yeah, I mean, I got an email about porting Metalink to Vision Pro, and I was like, nah. I'm gonna make a Vision Pro app or Quest app. It needs to make the experience better than like using my phone.
Let's take a look at some of the apps then. Okay, this is an app that allows you to watch cricket while looking at the stats and analytics at the same time. Just a bunch of metrics while the game is playing. I
mean, I'm not a cricket fan, but I can see this being useful for like basketball, like especially people that play like fantasy league. If they're watching like the game, and they have like the fantasy stats on the side, it could be like pretty interesting for them. This could be an app of interest that I would download. It's entertainment, and it could be better than just watching TV.
Moving on, this is an app that shows you your music notes. So if you're playing the piano, you can just put on your headset while you're practicing.
This one seems good in theory, but I'm just thinking about in practicality. Like, we know the Vision Pro is going to be pretty heavy. At some point, like, your neck's going to fall off. Like,
it's a neck workout. If you're trying to get a thick neck, it's pretty good.
Exactly. If you want like a super thick neck, then you keep doing that. But like the other one is simple. It's easy. It's just like entertainment. Right? Just sit back and relax. But like this one, like Like I feel like apps that they require a lot of movement aren't gonna do too good, at least on this first version. Because like from the demo, that doesn't look like you can move around much. Like it has a cord attached to a battery pack.
Yeah.
Looks heavy. Like I don't know. Like I tried the Magic Leap. It looks like the Vision Pro, but I hated using it. Trying to figure out where to put the battery pack sucked balls, and then the cord sucked. And if it's anything like that, then that would suck.
All right, moving on. An image editor, Pixelmator. Apparently, the image viewing experience is more immersive
Really?
on the Vision Pro.
Maybe I have to try to see it, but I don't imagine how working on the Vision Pro or editing videos would be faster than like using my keyboard and mouse like really quickly. It's kind of like the coding thing. Like when people say they'll work on VR, I'm like, I can't imagine how they work on VR. Like, like I need the physical keyboard and the mouse to like work pretty quickly.
That's fair, but with typing on the keyboard, apparently you can just look at the key. You can look at whatever you want to type and then just do this on the Vision Pro. So like you're typing, you're just doing this, and then it just types things around.
And then at some point, your eyes is gonna get stuck like this.
Yeah. For me, like editing requires a screen that gives you true tone display. So like the color needs to reflect exactly how it's going to look on other screens. Some monitors don't have the correct display type. So then let's say I'm editing a yellow. The yellow might be oversaturated for Instagram, but I don't see that it's oversaturated on my screen.
So you think that the Vision Pro can fix things like that?
Well, knowing that Apple is building this high-quality hardware where the display is supposed to be fantastic, I'm guessing it should be as good to look at a expensive Apple monitor the same way it is to look at a Vision Pro headset screen, right?
The work that you're doing is more of visual work. I can see how the Vision Pro would be more useful if it's like an immersive visual work. I can see how like it could be immersed in your work. Like I don't really know about this one. I wouldn't get it if I had the Vision Pro, but then again, I'm not an editor. Would you get it? 'Cause you're an editor, so
Probably, yeah. Yeah, the editing aspect of the Vision Pro is like the most enticing part to me, to be able to have like a wider display, just because editing on a small screen is very tedious. So editing on a bigger screen just makes more sense for me.
would you pay $20 for it though?
Yeah, at the beginning, I guess I would have to give in, considering I just bought this $4,000 device and
Exactly. You go to the store, you buy the Vision Pro, you just spend $4K. You go home, you're like, now what? and then you go on the App Store, and then you see like a bunch of apps, $20 each, $30 each. What are you gonna do? Not buy it?
Yeah.
You just spend $4K on a device. Like you're gonna spend like, I might as well spend $100 more on apps. So like, which you would never do if you just bought like a 1K iPhone, right? Because
yeah,
most apps are free because they have to be free because there are so much alternatives.
by the time you sunk in like $4,000, you're already a sucker to be paying more or whatever.
Honestly, like maybe I should go make a Vision Pro app just for the money, like just for the money grab.
This was the Crouton app, which is ported from iOS and iPad, and basically while you're cooking, you can look at recipes and you can meal plan stuff. So I'm guessing you would be on your Vision Pro while in the kitchen. Nope.
No. I don't want to be my Vision Pro in the kitchen. I've seen videos of people on YouTube with the Quest 3. You know how the Quest 3 has passed through? I see people like washing dishes and then watching something, right? Or like trying to make food. And then when I put it on, I was like, I never want to do this. Like first of all, I already have this heavy thing on my head. And then now I'm trying to like wash dishes, like, and then watch something. It doesn't work well. And also the images are distorted, right? Because you're being fed through a camera, so the depth perception of the camera and the depth perception if you're looking at things without a camera is different, right? So I'm over here like trying to touch the plate, and the plate's like further away.
Oh.
But then, man, maybe Apple's really smart and figures out a way to like make the camera like completely mimic your eyes. But what does it do again?
I think you can just meal plan, and then you can just put like specific meals on different days of a week. And I guess this app just has like a bunch of recipes.
But it seems like it's just a meal planning app. So you're not actually cooking. You're just like planning your meal. I don't think it's guided cooking. So maybe, because guided cooking, no. But like, if you're just planning your meal, sure. I don't see why you have to do that on the Vision Pro. But
This is a coffee making app. So while you're making your coffee, you can have a timer where the timer allows you to see how far your coffee has brewed.
what?
Well,
A timer?
It's another app that's ported from iOS.
Phone came out. There's a bunch of gimmicky app, a bunch of photos gimmicky app, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like this. Eventually, they're probably gonna figure out like apps that has great business, a good business model, right? Like the phone give us like a good business model, like the sharing business model, like Uber, DoorDash, stuff like that. I mean, I wouldn't download this. Don't know why I would need a timer, but
Fair. I guess this is more for also like a niche group of people who really enjoy to make coffee. So, do you enjoy making coffee?
no, I'll buy my coffee. I don't think I've ever made coffee in my life.
All right. This is another display of how it looks like. There's like a bunch of features, like different kinds of methods that you have to make a coffee, like a French press, AeroPress.
So what does it do? You press, makes you what?
I guess you press a specific method of how you want to make your coffee, like a French press, for example, and then it will tell you exactly how many grams of coffee you need, how much water you need, and guide you through the process, maybe.
Okay.
All right. Moving on to Planny. Planny just allows you to have like a view of your calendar and plan things out.
It could be like a good multitasking app, but I wouldn't just put on my Vision Pro just to do that, because I could do it much faster just by looking at my phone or my computer. The barrier to entry on Oculus is kind of hard in terms of like starting to do things, right? First, you gotta put it on. You gotta put it on, attach the straps, then configure your space. It's not easy just picking up your phone, you know. So if I'm gonna go on the Oculus, it's gonna be something that I actually kind of need to do on the Oculus. This doesn't seem like something that I need to do on VR. If I'm already doing something else and I'm like, oh, what do I have going on tomorrow? Then it could be a nice like multitasking app.
All right. Moving on to Bento Craft. This allows you to make little marketing mock-ups. Like, the bento style of just presenting what your app offers. So that's like the bento layout, by the way.
Okay, so I'm making that in Vision Pro.
Yeah.
I'm making it for what?
For marketing, I guess. Let's say you just release a new feature and you just want to show what the new feature offers. So you just bring all your assets in and then you just organize it. And then you make a screenshot.
And how do I export it?
That I don't know. Like, don't think about the logistics first. This app is already available for Mac OS and iPad, so
I didn't even know there was an app that does this. I thought it was just like you just do that shit on like Canva or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So you don't really care.
I feel like the editing things like I feel like I'm not in a good position to insert because I'm not an editor.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I would need this or get it, or I don't see the point of this. I mean, maybe it could look aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
Right? In the Vision Pro. But I don't imagine it being easier than just doing it super quick on a computer.
Fair.
I don't know. What do you think about that?
Whatever is marketing related, editing related, I don't really see myself going onto another platform and trying to do it on another platform other than my laptop. Like, even with making videos, I have to focus on making videos on my laptop rather than on my phone or any other platforms, just because that's my favorite form factor. But if VR is the future and Apple manages to find like the best ways for people to interact with making content on the Vision Pro in the future, then maybe that can become my favorite form factor in the future. But for now, it's still my laptop. And with a price point too, I don't know if I'm ever going to experience the making content with a Vision Pro anyway. So
you don't plan on getting it?
No, I don't have that kind of money yet.
It was $500. I'll probably get it.
Yeah,
If it was $1,000, I might get it. But
yeah.
$4,000, I might as well buy a freaking Honda. I might as well buy a BMW M6 with like turbocharged.
Yep. Second to last is Vis Planner. It allows you to plan for projects. As a software engineer, I guess you've seen this before.
Like a product management type
Yeah,
tool.
yeah. Because it's the Vision Pro, it can expand indefinitely. You can see a wider
You
gap.
could, so you could give more jobs to your engineers. Oh yeah.
Precisely. Precisely.
Cool. my quest street right now is on the ledge. Okay.
Uh-huh.
If I want to do something in my quest street, I have to go there, pick it up, do it, everything.
Yeah.
My Vision Pro is on the ledge right now. So far, none of these apps will make me want to pick up my Vision Pro, put it on, experience the heaviness, find a pocket for the fucking battery.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe with the exception of the first one.
So far we've reviewed all of these apps. What do you think the purpose of this device is now?
I guess entertainment and productivity. But I'm saying productivity because I don't think any of them will actually make you more productive. I think it will make you less productive.
Okay.
Or maybe immersion. I guess immersion. Because, like, you could say it's productivity, but it's not making you more productive. So I don't think productivity.
As a VR optimist, do you think it fits into your vision of what the future of VR looks like? Does it fit into that ecosystem?
No. Not right now. I know people that bet money on like on football or basketball, and I know they're constantly checking apps, right, to see like if their friends won, like they're gonna win, or like the stats. My vision for it is to make things that are hard to do in real life to make it seamless in VR, and that's hard. That's kind of hard to do, where you're trying to pay attention to multiple things: phone, TV, stats, maybe the computer. But if you have it all in front on one screen, but then again, you can also do that in a computer. They're all gimmicky, you know. But then again, at the beginning, they're probably all gonna do really well because what other choice does somebody that spent a 4K on a device? What other choice do they have? And then maybe 5 years down the line, maybe we'll see. We'll figure out what what the Vision Pro is actually good for.
So who do you think it's intended for?
People on Twitter that follow Elon Musk and write blogs and threads.
Nice.
Thread. Like those people, I guarantee you are gonna buy it, and they're gonna rave about how good it is, and it's gonna be superficial rave because they spend 4K, so now they have to make themselves think that it's a good product, right? Like, no one in their right mind gonna go to spend 4K on a product and be like, oh, it's like I don't like it.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to convince themselves that they love it and they love the apps. They're gonna have to convince themselves that.
That's fair. That's fair. Thanks, Prince, for joining me on this conversation. It was really insightful and really fun. I wanted to discuss a few other points that we touched with Prince. And the first one was content and the barrier of entry of making content on a Vision Pro versus the Meta Quest. And he made a really good point. His point about the fact that developing on the Vision Pro is way easier is a really good strategy for introducing familiarity for users that are going to be buying the new Vision Pro and that are going to be getting this device. There's going to be apps that they already use on their phone or on their Mac or on their iPad that they might find on the Vision Pro, and that familiarity of use rather than having to just interact in the 3D world and trying to grab things and reinvent the wheel, just have a plainer, bland display that already works on Swift, that already has the same gestures. It was a really good strategy from Apple, in my opinion. There's a part also that I disagree with Prince, and I only came to this opinion after editing and after thinking about what he said, which was that when he looks at some of the apps, he's not going to be seeking to go put on his headset to access the calendar app or to access the Gantt chart app or to access the coffee maker app. I realized later that a lot of these apps are going to be multitasking tool apps. When I go in the morning and I'm trying to make a coffee, I'm not rushing to go find my Vision Pro headset. I think it will be more in the sense of like, you're already immersed in your movie, you're already immersed in the content that you're watching, And just having access to these apps, having access to your timer, having access to your calculator, having access to things that like your brain might think about is something that's practical. So Prince was saying how it's easier for you to reach out to your phone and to access your calendar. But I think the purpose of having apps that are already on the App Store for mobile, for iPad, for the Mac, that are now accessible through the Vision Store just allows for the convenience of use rather than removing your headset and grabbing your phone. You're already within your headset and now you can just access your app through there. The example that I like to use about this is like the iPad, for example. The iPad has a bunch of apps that you already have on your iPhone. But when you're sitting on the couch and you're playing around with the iPad and you're watching Netflix on the iPad, you want also Instagram to be there so that when your TikTok brain kind of wants to start fidgeting around other places, you have access to your Instagram app as well. Except there's no Instagram app and people have been complaining about that. So I think apps being multi-platform is definitely something that will become an eventuality with a Vision Pro as it gets more popular and cheaper. Prince did mention about how the cricket app would be really convenient had it been a sport that he cares about, which is the NBA. And there has actually been screenshots about the NBA on the Vision Pro, and it actually looks really amazing. You can see your stats, you can see the scores from the current game, stats about different players. The experience is really immersive as well, so I'm guessing this is going to be huge. So yeah, that was a great conversation. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you next week. See you.